Hey guys, welcome to Tropical Flower Gardening. I'm Dr. Manisha. Guys, today's video is on a beautiful exotic tropical flowering plant called Medinilla myriantha. This plant is also known by different names like Malaysian orchid, Malaysian grapes, Philippines orchid, pink lantern plant, rose grape, and some other names. It is native to Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Malaysia, where it grows under trees in rainforests. It is also a popular garden plant due to its unique cascading and very showy pink flowers. This evergreen shrub can grow to reach a height of 2 to 4 feet and a spread of 1 to 3 feet. It is most suited for containers including hanging baskets, and also makes a stunning patio plant due to its incredibly beautiful dangling pink flowers. You can also grow it as an indoor house plant, but ensure that it receives adequate indirect bright sunlight as well as humidity. This plant looks best when the pot is kept in a high position or on a plant stand where you can showcase its beautiful dangling and cascading flowers. Guys, although called orchid, it is not a true orchid. It is said to be semi-epiphytic in nature with some orchid-like tendencies, and it will do well if you add some orchid potting mix to your soil. It is quite a slow growing plant. I had bought a small sapling about 4 years ago, and it has grown slowly and has started flowering only recently. Gardening surely teaches you patience. This plant flowers throughout the year in the warm tropical climate. The flowers are light pink in color initially, which you can see very well in this clip, and the buds appear like clusters of pearls. But as the flowers mature, they grow to a beautiful rose shade of pink. The flowers grow in clusters as panicles and dangle down like bunch of grapes, looking very exotic and attractive. These pretty cascading pink flowers stand out against the attractive green glossy leaves, which have prominent veins and look quite ornamental by themselves. The flowers slowly open up over many weeks, making them really long lasting. Flowers also attract butterflies, birds, and bees. Flowering is followed by dark pink colored berries, which are not edible and may contain seeds. This plant is quite easy to grow and maintain if you provide the right growing conditions. Let's see what are the requirements for this plant. It needs a very loose, porous, and extremely well draining soil with a slightly acidic pH. It is advisable to add about 30% orchid potting mix to your regular potting mix. You can also add perlite in your potting mix to make it more loose and airy. Make sure your container has adequate drainage holes which will allow proper air circulation around the roots. This plant has orchid-like features and its leaves are succulent and store water. Hence, you need to water this plant carefully, as excess water can lead to root rot. Water only when you find the topsoil dry. You may water it once or twice a week depending on your local climate. It needs a warm and humid climate to grow well, so make sure you provide the same. If your local climate is dry, you may have to mist the leaves and keep the container on a plate with water and pebbles to provide the necessary humidity. It also needs cooler nights for more flowering. This plant does best in semi-shade. Avoid exposure to direct sun and grow it in indirect bright sunlight. It may tolerate the mild morning sunlight, but certainly not the strong afternoon sun. I am growing it on my deck on the northern side of my house, where it receives indirect bright sunlight throughout the day. Give phosphorus rich fertilizers or orchid fertilizers once a month for flowering, as fertilizers rich in nitrogen will give more leafy growth. Prune the plant after flowering. Prune by cutting back unwanted branches almost reaching the base. Remove the dry and diseased leaves. Pruning keeps the plant healthy, promotes new growth and more flowering. You can change the potting mix if you find that the soil remains wet even a day after watering, as it means that the soil quality has deteriorated and it's time to repot with fresh soil. And while doing so, you can also divide the plant to create new plants. Guys, this is a slow growing plant, but eventually it will outgrow the container and you will have to repot it to bigger container. While repotting, take utmost care of the root balls as they are rather sensitive and can be easily damaged. Medinilla plant also should not be moved too often as it is quite sensitive to its location. Propagation of this plant is from stem cutting and from seeds. This plant may be attacked by pests like mealybugs, red spider mites. Please watch out for them and treat with neem oil spray. With the right care, you too will be able to grow this elegant and stunning tropical beauty in your garden and enjoy its exotic, magnificent flowers. And guys, with that we come to the end of this video. I hope you found this video useful and informative, and I hope I was able to give you all the information regarding how to grow this stunning tropical beauty in your garden. If you have any questions regarding this plant, please post them in your comments and I'll be happy to answer them. So guys, I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care and happy gardening.